So if you've been watching all the notes videos, I bet you're surprised that there is so much that somebody can say about notes. But at this point, I'm really interested in if you have any tips for using notes more efficiently in your practice. I guess my tips are that you can't expect staff to make notes if you don't give them the time to make notes. So by that, I mean that if you're setting up appointments for advisors and you're making them back to back, then they've got to come back at the end of the day and type it all in. So wouldn't it be better if in between client meetings there was, I don't know, whatever time you think is appropriate, like would you say an hour, then they can make their notes in Xplan, get up, stretch their legs, reset, prepare their mind for the next client. So whether you have an administrator making client appointments or whether you're using something like, I think it's called Calendly, where clients can make appointments themselves, make sure you just leave a gap between client appointments so there's enough time. I mean, I'm assuming if you're a paraplanner or administrator, you do the work and you make the notes straight after. And to me, that's how I used to work. And I guess, at the end of the day, that last half hour where everyone's tidying up their tasks, finishing off the day, getting ready for tomorrow, then that would be the time to make a note if they forgot it early in the day. I mean, I totally understand if it's not possible, right? Sometimes advisors, they're driving to the country or maybe even flying to the country because Australia is so large. And so it's really back-to-back meetings where you meet everyone in the country town. Or maybe, they're flying to another state, from Perth to Sydney and Perth to Melbourne to see clients there. And so to make use of that time, then meetings are back to back. So I do understand it's not always possible, but ideally in an ordinary day, we wouldn't be rushing and would be able to make our notes straight after the meeting, so it's fresh in our mind. You can tell me if you think that's diluted or not, but that's how I think things would normally happen. My other tips are more related to Xplan functionality. So that's, having a consistent naming convention so it's easy to find things in future, making use of templates so there's less things you need to remember to click when you make a note. Setting up your note preferences might help as well. And I've got videos on my channel already. I'll put a link in the description as well. So yeah, I'm really curious about what you're doing. Are you making notes right into Xplan when you're meeting with a client? I kind of feel you'd have to be a really fast typer to do that, like be able to give them eye contact and type into Xplan. Are you kind of doing a voice note and then handing it off to someone, maybe your administrator, to type it in? Or are you using some sort of speech to text software? Or are you just uploading the voice file note? I kind of feel like in future, if I had to listen to a voice note every time I wanted to quickly refer back, I feel like it'd take a while, but I don't know. What are you guys doing? If you're making notes on paper, are you typing it in yourself later? Or are you scanning it in and then OCRs? And I guess that means you need to have really legible handwriting if you want someone else to type your notes in for you or if you want the OCR to work. A few years ago, when I was doing training, someone actually said that in their practice they use the Dragon dictation software. And so they'd bought this software, they got it to work with Xplan, and then they just spoke, and then it typed straight into Xplan. And I thought that was awesome. And I straight away went to look for a YouTube video on it. And I'll put that link in the description below. I still think it's awesome. I never got to try it out myself. And I think speech to text is so useful. I mean, my father-in-law uses it to make medical notes. Yeah, you're always going to have to fix up words here and there. I used it when I was jotting out my ideas for this video series. I just used the speech to text functionality in Microsoft Word. So far, I'm a big fan. So yeah, I'd be really curious if anyone's used Dragon or something similar to work with Xplan. So yeah, if you've got tips that you can share with other Xplan users, feel free to drop it in the comments below. And if you've watched all the note videos, well done you. You're officially a note geek like me. And I'm gonna go off and think of what I should do in my next bunch of videos. But subscribe and have an awesome day. By the way, if you like the necklace I'm wearing, I actually got it at a young makers market. So I think all the makers there were under 25. And yeah, I think it's really nice to support local business and, young people who are go-getters. So I'll also put his details in the description below.